sorry, Mrs. Davidson, but I thought you'd want to hear this immediately.
It's about the attack on Vince Talbot. It wasn't an accident. It was deliberate.
Well, I'm going to tell him the truth, Lizzie.
Oh, it'll be all right. He's always stuck by you before.
Yeah, Judy doesn't reckon I should, though.
Listen, all I said is that some men are funny about rape.
No, he's a good kid.
Yeah, well, you probably know him better than me.
Look, he'll understand. All I have to say is that I got pregnant because I was raped. I don't have to go into the details.
Oh, brother.
You got to expect a few questions, love.
Well, what if he doesn't understand? What if he leaves me?
Attacking an innocent bystander, it's too much.
If he was innocent.
I've had enough. The women are not a law unto themselves.
Leave that and go inside, please. Attention, everybody. Mrs. Davidson wants to speak to you.
I don't want to speak to any of you, but it seems I must. Yesterday, a visitor to Wentworth was attacked. Your pretext was he was accidentally involved in a game of volleyball. As he didn't press charges, I was forced to accept this rather whimsical explanation. I have since learned that the attack on Mr. Talbot was both deliberate and premeditated. If you have any legitimate grievance, then I can help you. There is no need for you to take the law into your own hands. Well, Smith? Do you have any opinion as to why this man was attacked, Bryant?
Oh, could say it was group therapy.
Very well. It seems you were all involved. I was going to punish only those immediately concerned. But if it's therapy you want, then the loss of 7 days remission all round should be therapeutic enough. Good morning.
Mrs. Jackson. Group therapy.
Well, it did do us good at the time.
7 more days in the slammer.
Bloody Kay.
Yeah, seems it was that bitch. Okay, from now on it's open season on her.
Yeah, well, I thought you had a deal not to touch her.
I did. The deal's off.
Listen, you've already got 7 days remission. You're going to go for 14? Lee, if you so much as breathe on Kay, she's going to go straight to the screws. And you can bet she's already made a deal with Davo.
Yeah, in the mood Davo's in, I wouldn't like to risk another 7 days.
So we find another way of getting her.
Well, she's only got one weakness, and that's gambling. She gets in too far, she starts losing other people's money. It's a sickness with her.
You ought to see her when she loses.
You know, she's going to get her psychiatrist to tell the judge that she is cured.
Well, we'll just have to see that she isn't. Margot, you're going to have to give her credit.
In a pig's eye.
Ah, come on. We'll start a bank. Not a fortune. I want $2 from everyone who lost their work release because of Lady Muck. Come on, come on, come on. All contributions gratefully received. Thank you. Don't do a ring.
Take it.
She wasn't overjoyed.
Doesn't matter. I'll be out of here soon enough anyway, thank God. You just stay right where you are.
Don't get your knickers in a knot. It's strictly business.
I have no business with you.
Okay, talk to Judy. Want to lay any bets?
Not interested.
Oh, come on. Why not try something at Flemington tomorrow?
Like what?
Well, how about Skyboy? You can't go wrong with Skyboy.
I could.
What weight's he carrying?
Hey, I thought you weren't interested in the GGs.
I only asked.
Wouldn't want to lay a bet, would you?
You wouldn't take it.
Oh, come on. You're into me for so much dough already. Another few bucks isn't going to make any difference.
Okay. I'll stay with Skyboys. What are the odds?
2 to 1.
You call those odds?
I'm the only game in town.
$5 then.
Good. What else is running?
Look for yourself.
I'm not interested.
What about Flight King at Rose Hill?
I said I'm not interested.
Just to show I'm willing, I'll give you 8 to 1. You couldn't get better odds than that on the track.
No, I'm not interested.
I'd say it's just a matter of time.
You mean she's done nothing about you seeing Josie?
Nothing. It slipped her mind.
To think we used to bitch about Mr. Reed.
We was lucky, but we didn't know it.
How'd you go? She's punting?
Not yet, but she's nibbling at the bait. It won't be long before we hook her. Hope you know what you're doing. She could end up being into us for heaps, you know.
The minute she goes over the kitty, you refuse to pay.
Why don't you just let me bash her?
Bash first, think later. That's your problem, you know, Margot. If you're responsible for us spending one extra weekend here, you'll regret it.
Yeah, but I don't know how much longer I can hold out. She welched on me, you know.
Will you turn the record over? You've already given her a glass hamburger. That ought to hold you for a while.
She'll go berserk when I don't pay up.
Then just make sure there's a screw around when she does.
Right, pack up for lunch now, ladies.
Heard anything yet, Mrs. Jackson?
Not yet, Lizzie.
Don't think old Davo's let me down.
Oh, she doesn't often do that.
I wrote to her, you know, and I said there's no show without punch. She promised me she wouldn't let them start until I got there, but I can't get to see that glimpse.
What do you want?
Settling in?
I won't be here that long.
Well, what a shame. We don't get many like you in here. When there aren't many who can wipe out our work release program with one hand and lose a 7 days remission with the other.
I gave you a choice. Pay up or I'd report you for attacking Vince Talbot.
Aren't you just a little bit nervous? I've seen people marked for life for less than you've done.
Are you threatening me?
Not really. Just putting you in the picture, that's all.
Yes, well, just don't make a move or I scream for the warders. They won't let you touch me. And you don't scare me either, you great fat cow.
Smith, what are you doing here?
She's throwing her weight around.
White, go and have your lunch. I'm warning you, Smith. The governor is in no mood for trouble.
I won't be here for that long. He'll be here long enough. You bitch.
When is it now, Bee?
5 minutes later than the last time you asked me.
Oh, Davo must have done something. I've got to see Josie. What if she goes under and she doesn't wake up again?
Well, there's not much likelihood of that now, is there, Lizzie?
Awful things can happen to little kids.
Lizzie?
I'm off. I'm ready, Mrs. Jackson.
How did you know you could go?
Oh, there's a big smile on your face.
Come on, Mrs. Huntley's waiting.
Doreen, is there any way it could be Kevin's kid? Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure.
Maybe you could make him believe that it was.
He can add up, B. He's not stupid.
Well, you could make him believe it was premature as long as the two of you got together soon.
Oh, sure, and they're going to give us the bridal suite.
Paul Reed said you might just crack it for an overnight pass if you had a good enough excuse. Starting a family just might do it.
Mr. Reed's gone. By the time that old witch gets her roller skates on, the kid will be going to school.
Bypass her. Go direct to Davo.
I couldn't do that to Kevin, B. I just couldn't.
All right. But what's the alternative? Well, what did she say exactly?
She never says anything exactly. Nothing that makes any sense, that is. I think she thought I was just there for a chat.
Well, are you getting the pass or not? Oh, you two would make a good pair. Brains like suet pudding.
Well, I did ask her, B.
Well, if she doesn't do something by tomorrow and pull her finger out, I'll sort her out myself. Never gander at Lady Muck over here. Bit short on for friends, isn't she?
Yeah, she's got her eye on Margot, though.
It won't be long now.
I'm back.
Oh, it's you, is it? I thought it was Sophie Loren.
How did Josie go?
Oh, like a little champion. We sat with her until she was took away. Then when she went, she turned around and gave us a great big smile. Then me and Ellen, we went out and had a great big dinner.
Nothing for you. You had your chance and blew it.
Did Skyboy win?
Romped home.
When's his next race?
Saturday, you want to back him?
No, I'm not betting.
Hey, Kay, would you like a game of poker?
You don't mind, do you, Bee?
I don't mind, as long as she knows a jack from a king. No skin off my nose.
Well, I'm not playing for money.
Who asked you to? Okay, Doreen, have a deal.
Three sevens.
What have you got, Doreen?
Nothing.
Lizzie?
Things are crook and Tallarook.
Oh, well, looks like you win again. I was getting dead boring. How about we have a few bob on the next hand?
No.
I'll be in it.
Yeah, count me in. You only live once.
Okay.
All right, but only 5 cents a game.
Oh, I'll keep tally.
Aren't you two playing?
We've been cleaned out.
Yeah, she raised the stakes and it got too expensive.
Okay, what do you got?
Full house. 8's on kings. Your turn.
Oh, tough luck.
Yeah, unbelievable.
It's crazy.
Well, what have you got?
A headache. How am I holding?
Well, you're not. You've won 7 and Kay's won 10, 20, 30, 40.
20 cents a game. I hope you're good for it.
You'll get paid.
When?
First thing in the morning. It's unbelievable, the card she's had. Okay, girls, let's call it a night.
Well, thanks for the game.
4 aces I had in that last hand. 4 bloody aces. I haven't had 4 aces in 7 years.
I love it.
Yes?
The Yank's in the laundry, is she? They'd send you too if you asked.
I'm on remand. I don't have to work.
Please yourself. I'd be bored silly. B sent this over. It's your winnings from last night. $11.40. You must have got lucky.
Not before time.
Seems a pity to waste it.
Waste what?
That lucky streak you're having. There's an interesting line-up at Flemington tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I'm not interested.
I thought you had a lot of faith in Cunnamulla.
Is he running?
In the 3:15.
What weight's he carrying?
Look for yourself.
I'd have more than that for breakfast. All right. But I'm not going to take lousy odds.
You got 20 to 1. I happen to believe that Cunnamulla couldn't run down a well.
11 o'clock and you still haven't heard.
Maybe she isn't in today.
Well, so what? Social workers are supposed to work a 7-day week just like anybody else.
You should have gone to old Dave, though.
I tried to, but Vera found me and shunted me off to Agnes.
That bitch would put a stop to anything.
It looks like I'm going to have to straighten her out.
Lizzie, could you take some clean towels to reception, please?
Right-eye, Mr. Fletcher.
Hey, Mr. Fletcher,
What is it, Smith?
I want to see the social worker.
What, right now?
The sooner the better. Hey, Doreen?
Yeah.
All right, Smith, come on.
Hello, dear. Oh, you're just in time for a cup of tea.
No, thanks, Miss Forster. One of the long-term prisoners is here to see you. B. Smith.
Oh, I suppose I've got a foul on her, but I don't want to disturb Butchie at the moment. Could you put me into the picture?
Well, she's in for murder. First her husband's lover, and then the husband.
Oh, dear me, she does sound a hardened criminal. Shouldn't you stay?
She's calmed down a lot since then. Smith. B. Smith, this is Miss Forster.
Right.
Sit down, Beatrice.
Beatrice?
That is your name, is it not?
I suppose it is.
And what do you want?
Doreen Burns came to see you yesterday.
I saw a young woman called Dolly.
That was Doreen. She came about an overnight pass to visit her husband.
Another prisoner's leave is of no concern of yours.
I just want to see she gets it, that's all.
She will in good time, Beatrice.
Well, that's not good enough. How about you have a shot at it tonight?
That's enough, Smith. How dare you try and pressure me?
I'm just trying to get you in your wheelchair on the road. You are supposed to help us, you know, not play with that bloody cat all day long.
You can tell your friend Dolly that I do not respond to scare tactics.
You wouldn't respond to a drowning man, you stupid old cow. We could rot for all you care. All you do is sit in here and knit and draw a fat salary and don't give a damn. Well, I'm warning you, if you don't smarten yourself up, I will personally see
You
what...
will personally see to what? And you will not, I repeat, not insult members of my staff, particularly someone of Miss Forster's age and status. I'm taking you off buy-up for a week.
She's not permanent, is she?
She retires at the end of a year after a long and honourable career.
She's past it now.
The department doesn't seem to think so.
The department isn't locked in here day after stinking day with its family on the outside, no way through to them except an old biddy who doesn't care. She is hopeless, Mrs. Davidson.
Compared with Mr. Reed, she may seem a little slow.
Slow? She forgets. She forgot legal aid for Kay White. She forgot Lizzie wanted to go and see Josie before her operation. And she forgot Doreen and Kevin's visit this afternoon. And that's what I went to see her about.
I will have her treated with respect, Smith.
Respect? She wants respect. Let her earn it like everybody else around here. I don't care how crash hot she was when Bradman was a boy. It's what happens here and now that's important. And nobody gets on with her. She's no good.
What is the problem with Doreen?
Doreen's hardly seen Kevin alone since they were married. It's a bit tough on the kids. Mr. Reed was trying to organise an overnight pass before he left. Well, a fat chance they've got to get one out of that Agnes bitch. You were matron of honour at the wedding, Mrs. Davidson. It's up to you to give this marriage a bit of a nudge.
Is it indeed?
Doreen was hoping for a contact visit this Arvo.
As well as an overnight pass?
No harm in hoping.
All right, Smith. Go back to work. I'll see what I can do for Doreen.
Ta, Mrs. Davidson.
Miss Forster? No, it's Erica Davidson. Erica Davidson? The governor. Yes, that Mrs. Davidson. I'm ringing about Doreen Burns. No, not Dolly, Doreen. Mrs. Burns is entitled to a visit from her husband this afternoon. Would you ring him and remind him? You'll find his number in the file. I would also like you to process an application for an overnight pass for her. No, not this afternoon. It's to go to the department at once. Thank you.
Then Gunderman, and further down the field, it's Cactus Kid, followed by Vacola, Panorama well back with Brown Benny Rosenkrantz, and lastly, Cunnamulla.
Listen to the races, eh?
No.
Well, it didn't exactly sound like kindergarten of the air to me.
All right, I was listening to the races. So what? I've got nothing better to do but hang around here getting bored out of my skull.
Uh-huh. Did you have a flutter?
What business is it of yours?
Oh, nothing. No skin off my nose. Just seems funny, that's all. You're making this big song and dance act to the psychiatrist.
All right, I had a couple of dollars on a horse. It doesn't mean I'm hooked.
Was it that money you won last night?
Where else do you think I got it?
It was all the money you had in the world, wasn't it? You know, that's incredible. You're going to get your psychiatrist to stand up in court and swear that you're on the straight and narrow. No more gambling. Yeah, I can just see it now. The judge will say to you, you got anything to add, Miss White? And you'll say, yeah, 10 to 1, you're going to let me out of here. 10 to 1.
Don't you laugh at me. Do you hear? Don't you laugh at me. You just leave me alone.
My pleasure.
My game, I think.
How many's that she's won?
There.
Are you sure that's right?
Oh, wake up to yourself. You didn't have any complaints when you was winning.
Add 'em up, Doreen.
Well, she's won 8 games and you've won 10, 20, 30, 40.
We haven't played that many.
Yes, we have. 50, 60,
And
70, 80.
you were the one who insisted on 2 bob a hand.
Which means you owe me.
$11.20.
But who's counting? Hand it over.
I haven't got it.
You ripped that much off us last night.
Well, I haven't got it. I've only got $1.20. There.
Not good enough.
Well, what are you going to do about it? You can't get blood out of a stone.
Oh, I can if I put my mind to it. Can't I, girls? Seeing as how we're all mates here, You can pay some of it off by giving me your buy-up. I lost mine for the week.
But that means I won't have any cigarettes. Well, that's not fair. Oh, damn you.
How much she lose?
$11.20.
She did $10 on Cunnamulla.
Okay, hand it back to the bank. Come on.
You were a bit lousy with the dinner.
You could have had mine. I couldn't touch it. Can't they do better than that?
Ah, what do you expect? This is Wentworth, not the Wentworth.
I had noticed.
Well, that's why the buy-up's such a big deal.
Yeah, she'll be here any minute, too. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Right on the button.
Oh, what it is to be popular. I suppose this wouldn't have anything to do with the buy-up, would it, ladies? Now, move back. There's no need to crowd me. There's one for each. Oh, with one exception. You know you've been taking off buy-ups for a week, don't you, Bea?
Yeah,
Right.
I was ready for it.
Here you are, then. Oh, and would the lady who keeps ordering a bottle of tawny port please wake up to reality?
You can't blame me for trying, Mrs. Jackson. I might meet some dill pot who really thinks I am allowed.
I doubt it, Lizzie. You're too well known. Oh, by the way, Mrs. Huntley rang. She said to tell you that Josie's operation has gone very well.
Oh, beauty.
Right, now, where's Kay White? You know the rules of the buy-up, don't you?
I know it's my only chance to get any cigarettes.
Right, then. That's it, ladies. Now, don't forget to fill out your forms before you go back to work.
I'll fill that in. After all, we might not like the same brand of fags. Slow down, will you, Brabham?
I've got to keep fit now that I know Josie's going to be all right. You know what I'm going to do when I get out of here?
Hit the bottle.
God, no. I'm going to buy Josie a bike so she can ride to school. I bet she's never done that before, poor little pet, not with her gammy leg. Her and me, we're going to do all sorts of things when I get out of here.
What? You two are going to go bike riding together? Hey, they don't ride penny farthings anymore, you know.
Oh, God, I hope not. But she'll look sweet as she works her beat on a bicycle built for two.
Geez, I wish something good had happened to me for a change.
Don't worry, love. As soon as you've had that abortion, everything will change.
Yeah, but I mightn't get it. Not the way Agnes feels about it.
It's got nothing to do with her. She can't stop you.
Yeah, but you mightn't do anything about it until it's too late.
Listen, if that old bag hasn't organised something by tomorrow, you go straight to the governor.
Maybe I ought to tell Kevin.
Look, love, we've been through this before. OK, he might stand by you, but you can't bank on it. It's best if you look after this yourself.
Yeah, I suppose so.
And for God's sake, stop looking like it's the end of the world, will you?
Doreen, you've got a visitor.
Well, who is it, Mrs. Jackson?
Your husband. Well, what's wrong?
Well, I had a visit from him yesterday.
Well, that's all right. Miss Forster arranged it.
Ah, she got off her bum at last.
Don't tell me Forster did something useful for a change.
That's enough, Smith. Come along, Doreen.
Go on, love. You stick to our plan. Nothing can go wrong.
And a half length, and then there's a long gap to the rest into the straight now. And Brutus driving hard on the outside after Fearless Slide. It's Brutus on the outside going a shade the better. And Brutus got up to win by a head. Fearless Slide in second place. Jackie.
Pity you didn't back him.
You again.
Book's open now if you're interested.
Huh?
Thought you'd jump at the chance. Oh, that's right. Bea cleaned you out, didn't she? Shame. Sherry's blessing in the third sounds like a good thing.
She's only running at 7 to 1.
I make the odds around here.
Just as a matter of interest. What are you offering?
Oh, 10 to 1. Could go 13s. Still, if you're broke, I suppose knowing how good the odds are, it only upsets you. Hey, easy.
All right. $5 on Sherry's blessing at 13 to 1.
I thought you were broke. Where did that come from?
Oh, I've been saving it for a rainy day. Well, you're not backing down, are you? Funny. I never thought of you as a piker.
Now they're moving to the line for the third event at Kyneton.
Where is she? She's been out for half an hour.
Oh, she'll be all right. Don't worry.
As long as she doesn't spill the beans about the baby.
She wouldn't do that. Kev's a nice young bloke, but don't think he'd take to that.
Yeah, no, in a way, it's a lucky thing he doesn't want to start a family so soon. Otherwise, poor Doreen would have to live with a lie for the rest of her life. What's wrong, love?
She told him. She told him about the kid.
Who?
Forster bitch.
Oh, she had no right.
I told you she was against abortion. She got Kevin in to make him talk me out of it.
Stupid bitch. The only time she ever gets off her backside, she goes and causes trouble. What did Kevin say?
Well, I had to tell him, Bea. I couldn't lie to him. Not about something as important as a kid. I had to tell him that it wasn't his and everything.
Oh, God. What did he say to that?
Well, he reckons I've got a charge, Talbot. He's going down to the police now.
Good on him.
But I don't want to.
Listen here, you dimwit. You get the abortion now for sure. And charging that Talbot bastard's the best thing you could ever do.
Oh, good morning, Miss White.
Good morning, Mr. Spencer. How's it all going?
Well, I've examined the police charges against you. 35 in all, and all well documented.
Which means I don't stand a chance.
Oh, I wouldn't give up hope yet. You have a very good chance. If we can prove to the court that you stole because of your compulsion to gamble.
Well, how do we do that?
Psychiatric evidence. After Dr. Weissman's initial assessment, he feels that you do have a genuine addiction to gambling, and so he is willing to assist you.
To help me to break the habit?
Precisely. But it is extremely important that you cooperate with him. Show him that you're sincere in your desire to be helped.
Well, don't you think I'm sincere?
Yes, I do. Naturally, refraining from gambling will be a start.
Well, I don't get too much of a chance in here, do I?
No, I suppose not. Whatever facilities Wentworth provides, the TAB isn't one of them.
Oh, it's a relief in some ways being in here. Gives me time to dry out.
Good. Well, what about when you're released?
When or if?
When. With Dr. Weissman's testimony, there's a strong possibility that you will be acquitted. At the very worst, you should get a good behavior bond.
Here's me thinking I was spending the next 10 years in here. But now maybe...
You'll be a free woman? Well, I for one hope so. You have every chance now that you're determined to give up gambling.
Oh, I can't tell you how much I want to.
It's now that she needs her Gran. Oh, I wish I could have a half day before she comes out of hospital.
Yeah, well, don't ask Agnes. She'll be waiting till Christmas.
Yeah, she won't do nothing. We ought to get up a demo. Give Forster the big A.
Wouldn't work.
No, but we got to do something. Especially since she blabbed on Dor.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Yes, it does, and I'm never going to speak to her again.
That's not such a bad idea.
Oh, she wouldn't care to just make her job easier for her.
But it'd make everyone else's job harder.
How do you mean?
Gather round. Listen, whenever you want leave or overnight passes or help with your families, anything the social worker should handle, go to Davo instead.
She'd just send us to Ag the Bag.
Of course she would. She might also get the message that we think Forster's as weak as water.
Oh, that'd put a spanner in the works.
You got that? Yeah. Right. Good. Poor love. She's going to be on the pension sooner than she thought.
Doreen, the police are here to see you.
I have to?
Go on, love. Just make sure you lay out in that bastard Talbot.
Can I go to the loo first, Mrs. Jones?
All right. Come along.
Ah, I was wondering when you'd show up. Sherry's blessed one.
Big deal. So you picked one at last.
Okay, $70. And I'll count it.
I will, just to make sure there's no mistake. It's 20, 30, 50, 70.
All right. So be a good girl and hand it over.
I owe you 70. You owe me 50. From the factory, remember? Well, now you're flush, you can pay me back.
You bitch.
Oh, don't be like that. Don't spend it all at once.
Miss Forster's office, I'm afraid we'll have to do.
That's okay.
Sit down. Now, the last time you told me about your childhood, it seemed to indicate the root of the problem. Now, could you tell me now exactly how you feel when you get this urge to gamble?
Well, it's like being torn in two. One half of me wants to resist, and the other half urges me on. Then it gets so bad, I can't resist anymore.
And how does it make you feel?
Oh, good to begin with. I've got what I wanted. Then I start thinking about it, and I feel bad. Bad, giving in. I feel like a kid, you know, out of control, helpless.
You told me how badly you feel about yourself, that you're a failure. No one's going to have any respect for you. And yet, you committed crimes over a long period of time without showing any concern or remorse. My big problem is that I don't know if you really want to change.
What do I have to say to you? Perhaps I've been hedging. Perhaps I've been putting it too nicely. I am sick of the sight of myself. I hate what I'm doing. I mean, you just think about it, Doctor. Do you want to wake up every morning and hate what you are, hate the way you behave? Because I do. I feel helpless. I can't do it by myself. I need help.
You will have.
You'll help me?
Yes, of course.
I'm sorry I'm late, Mrs. Davidson. I was just seeing Dr. Wiseman out.
It's quite all right, Mrs. Jackson. Miss Forster hasn't arrived yet.
Does it matter?
A reception. Would you ring Miss Forster and remind her that the classification meeting is about to start? Oh, I see. Thank you. It appears Miss Forster has left for the day.
Typical.
Did anyone think to tell her that the meeting was on?
Yes, I reminded her yesterday, but it could have slipped her mind.
Like everything else?
Oh, we just can't continue, Mrs. Davidson. She simply isn't doing the work she's meant to be.
Well, she's only been here 5 minutes. Give her a chance to get used to the place.
The only thing she's getting used to is an easy job, like all social workers. All she ever does around here is make cups of tea and talk to that ridiculous cat.
Now, that's true, Mrs. Davidson. There's vital work to be done here, and she isn't doing it. Now, what we need is a competent social worker, and quickly. Now, I don't like to say this, but I think Miss Forster should be retired.
Look, she's not that bad. I think that she could have quite a lot to offer once she settles in.
It's well known how you feel about little old ladies.
Miss Bennet, that is quite enough. We are not here to discuss Miss Forster's shortcomings. I suggest we do our job and get on with the classification meeting. Now, our most important problems are Kay White and Doreen Burns.
Hi. The girls said that you went to the cops about Talbot. What'd they say?
They said they can't lay a charge because there's not enough evidence. I need witnesses.
Damn that mongrel. I'll go witness for you, Dor.
What could you say?
Well, I could tell them that I saw you go into the storeroom with Talbot and then say that you told me what happened when you came out.
Thanks, Jude. But it wouldn't help.
You know something? It seems to me that maybe you're not interested in laying charges.
No, it's just that I'm worried about what Kevin's going to say when he finds out that nothing's going to happen.
It's you that got raped, Doreen. It's you that has to do something about it. It's got nothing to do with Kevin.
It has. He was the one who made me go to the police in the first place.
What do you mean, made you go?
It's okay. He's been great about it.
Oh, yeah, well, that's easy for him, isn't it? He wasn't the one that got raped.
He was trying to help me.
He was trying to get revenge, you mean? Don't you understand, Doreen? It's his bloody ego that got hurt. Someone else screwed his wife. Of course he's got to take revenge.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe you're right.
Of course I am.
Yeah. But I've got to have something to hold on to. I love Kevin. He's the only thing that means anything to me anymore.
That's yours for a place. Right. And that's about it.
Not quite. What about my win in the fifth?
Oh, yeah. $3.75.
What's so funny?
Nothing like the big plunge, is there? $3.75.
Just shut your face, Lizzie, or I might...
You're what?
Stump a little old lady? Lizzie was just being sympathetic, weren't you, love? On the outside, I bet you play for bigger stakes.
Of course, it makes it much easier when you can get your fingers into the petty cash.
Oh, yeah. Smart idea, that one.
Can't be too smart if you get caught. Still, you gotta lose sometime.
Now, look, Lizzie.
Give it a break. You interested in the trots?
Of course she is. She's got $3.75 to spare.
Oh, now, come on. Don't be tough on the girl. After all, she's trying to give it up. Aren't you, White?
You interested in the trots or not?
Sure. If you want the money, come to my cell.
She's cracking, Bee.
Yeah, I thought you were going to take a swing at you.
Well, why didn't you let her? I can take it.
Yeah. Right, all we have to do now is wait until she loses again, stir her, she'll do her block, and if there's a screw around, she'll end up in solitary.
Very, very thrilling affair. Numbers now coming into the frame. Very tight finish. Here they are now. In the garden first. In the garden first. Second, Golden Boy. And third, Sir Cindy.
Bugger it.
Not interested in the last race?
You know I haven't got any more money. That was my last cent.
No need to get upset. You've got to lose sometime.
And just what do you mean by that?
You're punchy, aren't you? I only said...
You said I was a loser. Well, what was you
Settle
wrong?
down. I only
What's
meant
going on
you...
in here?
Nothing.
Get back to your cell. Well, White, what's wrong?
Nothing, Miss Bennett.
Well, it's pleasant to see another smiling face for a change.
And maybe you can give me something to smile about? I'm dropping dead?
What's made you so happy?
What Kevin did to Doreen, and what your friend Talbot did in the first place, bloody men.
You just leave my things alone.
You listen to me. Now, I didn't ask to share with you. And while we're stuck in here, we might as well make the most of it. And don't you ever speak to me like that again, you understand?
Hey, hang on, girls. Wait a minute. I've been thinking. I think it's about time we put our anti-ag program into action.
Beauty!
So, have any of you got any problems? How about you, Doreen?
Oh, I've got to talk to Kevin first.
Yeah, well, I got a few things need sorting out.
Hey, come on, ladies. That's lunch, or don't you want any?
I've got something more important, Mr. Fletcher. I've got to see the governor.
Should have put your application in before breakfast, Lizzie.
It's urgent. It's about my little granddaughter. She's still in hospital, see? And I want to see her, so I got to ask Mrs. Davidson.
Well, that's a job for the social worker.
Social worker? What social worker? I didn't know we had one.
All right, what's all this about?
Nothing. Just that my trial's coming up in a couple of days. I want to organize a lawyer. I'd like to see Mrs. Davidson after Lizzie.
If you need that sort of help, that's a job for Miss Forster. And you'll be seeing her, and so will Birdsworth.
Might as well be seeing her cat.
For your information, Smith, Miss Forster has had 40 years' experience with the department. Although she probably hasn't had to deal with a bunch of ratbags like you lot.
Oh, he does know how to hurt, doesn't he, girls? Now, I just wonder what Miss Forster's done to get him to Fletcher's good books.
Oh, he just likes little old ladies, don't you, Mr.
Oh, I'm sorry, Fletch. Come on, girls, lunch.
Do you want to see the social worker?
No way.
What about you, Brian?
Oh, no, I'm going to wait to see Mrs. Davidson.
Well, you'd be waiting.
What is it with you, Fletch? I wouldn't have thought you could care less whether we had a social worker or not.
You don't deserve one.
Oh, well, maybe Mrs. Davidson realised that. We won't have one.
Here's a postie.
Right. Brian?
Tell me about that.
Thanks very much.
Stokes? Nagel? White?
Smith?
Sorry, B.
Oh, well, how many letters do I get anyway?
Oh, Lizzie.
Yeah, Mrs. J.
Mrs. Huntley phoned an hour ago. She says there's some complications with the operation.
Oh, no, nothing serious.
No, don't get upset. It just means Josie will be in hospital a little longer. Here, you can see for yourself.
Oh, I can't even get to see the poor little mite.
Come on, don't go getting yourself into a state, Lizzie. Ellen would have said if it was something serious.
Yeah.
Come on, let's keep your mind off it. We'll go and have a couple of hands of poker.
All right.
Bastard.
Good news, eh? Boyfriend dump you or what?
Bloody Reynolds.
Your boss from the factory. Is he offering you your job back?
Oh, no way. Dear Kay, I can hardly hope you are well under the circumstances, but if there's any assistance I can offer, don't hesitate to ask. Bloody hypocrite.
Well, that seems pretty good considering what you did to him.
He's the reason I'm in here. I offered to pay him back, but oh no, he's got to call in the police.
Well, it's better than a poke in the eye, isn't it? I'll tell you what. Why don't you write to him? Ask him to be a character witness at your trial. It's just a suggestion.
Who's yours from?
My aunt.
Good news?
What do you care for?
I don't. I was just being polite, seeing as you were so interested in mine.
Well, it's about my father's will, you see. He's left everything to me. The whole kit and caboodle.
How much?
30 grand.
What's there to cry about?
My sisters are contesting it.
Well, so long as the will's clear, they haven't got a leg to stand on. You're rich. Congratulations.
Yeah, terrific. Get out the champagne. Woo, 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 woo. Even if I get the money, I won't be able to spend it for 5 years.
Oh, look on the bright side. Think of how much interest it'll earn.
Get lost, will you?
Where do you think you're going, White?
The recreation room, if that's all right with you.
Here comes the bad loser.
You want to know how to get her out of your hair?
Do I? What? She wins, she rubs it in. If she loses, she's ready to smash me. Who needs it?
Look who's crawled out of the woodwork.
Cut that out, Birdsworth.
Do you want another hand?
Yeah, it's your deal.
Okay.
Anything good on?
See for yourself.
We could listen to the races. 3 at Pakenham sounds a beaut. Still, if you'd rather watch the Three Stooges. It's good odds. But I suppose you broke.
Lay off, Gaffney.
Lost it all, did you?
I said lay off, Gaffney.
Loser.
You speak to me
Stop
like
that,
that, you
loser! That's enough, White! Get off her! You're coming with me.
To the governor's office, perhaps?
Did you hear that? They
Just
set
shut
me
up.
I've been
Get moving.
Shut up!
Sure. Just wasn't expecting Incredible Hulk, was I?
Yeah, shame about that. Still, it wasn't a good cause.
It better be. If White doesn't get put in a pound this time, I'll make sure she gets it my way.
Don't worry, you won't have to lift a finger. Vera saw what happened. She'll tell Davo. Hey, Jude, I reckon you'll have your cell to yourself for a while.
Suits me. Doreen?
It's Kevin, isn't it?
That's right.
God, love, you get out there and you talk about having that abortion.
You know that kid's fallen to pieces? I don't think Kevin's going to be any help at all.
Yeah, well, maybe it doesn't look like it, but they've got to talk turkey sooner or later. And now Doreen can't lay that rape charge. Well, they've got to talk about the baby and their future.
That's right.
I still don't like it.
Yeah, well, nor do I. But they're the only ones who can sort it out.
White and Gaffney were talking quietly together when suddenly White threw Gaffney to the floor. If I hadn't been there, she could have killed her.
Thank you, Miss Bennett. White?
What Miss Bennett says is true.
At least you're not denying it. Do you have any excuse for your action?
No excuse. But I do have an explanation.
Then I would like to hear it.
I saw Dr. Wiseman yesterday, and he thinks he can help me with my problem. So rather than staying in my cell listening to the races, I thought I'd be much better off in the recreation room.
So you would not be reminded of the gambling?
Yes. I was sitting watching television when Margot Gaffney started taunting me about my habit.
And that's when you attacked her?
Yes, I played right into her hands.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, you must know the women don't like me. They've been needling me ever since I arrived. The best way to get at me is through the system. Provoke me into lashing out, and then they know I'll be put into solitary.
Which is no more than you deserve.
I know that. All I'm saying is I was set up.
Quite. But as long as you respond to their taunting, they will continue to provoke you.
Yes, I know.
And how do you propose to cope with that? Hit another inmate?
Well, now I know how they work, I think I can handle them.
Good. However, for your own safety, I would suggest that you spend as little time with the other women as possible.
You mean solitary?
No. I am prepared to give you another chance.
But she attacked Gaffney. She deserves
Thank you, Mrs. Davidson. I appreciate that chance.
I hope so. Take her to her cell, Miss Bennett.